Today is February 6th, 2004. We're going to go ahead and start our school board meeting. Yes, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And it's 6 o'clock. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Stevens, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Drum?
Here.
Mr. Maines? Here. Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Mrs. McMurray?
Here.
And Mr. Thompson?
Here.
All present and accounted for, madam. We may begin the meeting.
All right. At this time, I will take a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, moved by Mr. Maines. Do I hear a second? I'll second it. Seconded by Mrs. Dillard. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote.
Maines?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
Drum?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, this evening we're going to start with parent group presentations. So we have representation from Parents Who Care, the middle school, LT Ball, high. Am I missing one? Is that everybody? Okay. You have more you want to say? Go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted, these groups help support the students here at the school. I thought it'd be a good idea. Some people have some experience with them, might even be on some of them. But for the new board members, they have an idea and a face to the groups who help support our kids. So I asked them to be part of this and just kind of share a few minutes of what they're doing, some things they're seeing, whatever they like to talk about their group and how they interact with kids. So, do we have any volunteers? There's volunteer. Yeah, we can. There we go.
I'm not afraid.
All right.
For those who don't know me, I'm Shannon Snipes. I'm Secretary of Parents Who Care, which is the current organization for the high school. And I have a senior, a daughter who's graduating, and I have a freshman. So I will probably continue my role in this. He had asked us to briefly touch on some successes in our organization and some areas of concern. We have many successes. One thing we did new this year, we took over the Pee Wee concessions, and that helped to earn us an additional $6,000. One of our big expenses, if you're wondering what our organization kind of contributes to at the high school, the big expense is after prom. We do it at Scene 75. And so we are in charge of the basketball concessions and for both girls and boys. And that's where we usually get the majority of the money that we earn. We are, unfortunately, it's been kind of slow. We didn't have enough volunteers for one game. And so we're still kind of behind. We plan on possibly doing a fundraiser. We did create a QR code that we're going to start kind of blasting on social media. I guess that I wasn't on the organization last year, but I guess that worked pretty well to get several donations. So we should have hopefully, no problem making that up. Some other things we do, we are involved in the Top Scholar Dinners. We do Powder Puff, the red carpet event before prom. What else? And I'm trying to think of Erica, what else? Bonfire, yeah. So a lot of the fun things that are kind of behind the scenes that we coordinate for the high schoolers. I'd say one very positive thing that I'd like to point out is, especially working the concessions, just day-to-day communication with Principal Barnes, the AD, absolutely fabulous to work with. I mean, they go above and beyond for our organization. Anything that we ask, anything that we need, I mean, they just jump in. And help in any way that they can. And I think they really deserve a huge shout out from our organization because they are so extremely helpful to us. I kind of was trying to think of what not really areas of concern, but maybe requests. We would love to have, because we run the basketball concessions, which can be an overwhelming task. We don't really have a dedicated storage space, like a closet, a room, which we really need. And we've kind of been talking that around with different administrators throughout the years, but it really makes it kind of hard to, when you have things everywhere and you don't really have a set place for it. So that would be one thing on our wish list. We did get the grant for a new red carpet this year, which the red carpet that we use for the at Antioch for when they're going into prom. We loan it out generously to, they're having senior night or something at the high school, we get requests for it a lot. And of course, we like to let all the student organizations or whoever use it. And it's not always given back in great condition, and it's been several years and they're not cheap. So, but we were generously granted that for a new carpet. So we're so excited about that. So we will have that. I think of what else we are thinking about. We don't have a lot of complaints. Everybody works with us so well. But yeah, that's what we do. We just try to support the high school students as best we can and what they need. And it's been my first year working in the organization. It's been wonderful. So the ladies that I work with are all great. So.
When are typically your meetings for parents who are interested in joining your organization?
So typically it's the first Tuesday of the month, which is real convenient for seems to be other meetings, usually at 7 at the high school in the Commons. We do move it around every once in a while if there's other events, but that's usually every month. And it's typically the same people that come, but I'm probably sure that's true of most organizations. It's pretty much the same people, but we have a great group of people. So I'd say that's about it. You guys, any questions?
Yeah.
And we love, what we do. I think it's fun to, work with the kids and stuff. So it's great.
Good job, Ross.
Thank you. Okay, next volunteer. Fantastic. No, yeah, you can, they're quicker. I know, they're on it. They're like, I got this.
Hi, I am Alexa Bagadas, Jen Krim, I'm director and co-director of the LTPA, which is at LT Law. And first, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for serving our schools and just all that you do. We really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I just wanted to highlight first some of the extra opportunities that LT provides for the students after school. So Mrs. May and Miss M. Wally have a science club that meets once a month. Mrs. Lammers and Mrs. Haynes have a STEM club that meets after school once a month. Mrs. Jessup runs the technology club after school once a month, and my son just participated in that. He had so much fun. They got to use little robots and play games, and he said he learned how to operate a robot. So that was really fun for him. Mrs. Moore does the quiz bowl team, and Mrs. Brogan and Mrs. Hawes do a math club. So I just want to let you know how they go above and beyond, because that is really important for us as parents, for our kids to have those extra opportunities. And then also Mrs. Cook, she has bingo after school, she does the fourth grade hoedown for the kids, which is a way to have that family and student connection. Those kids come with their parents and it's really fun. We got to go to the hoedown this year. And we also have the Blizzard Blast for fifth grade students. So that's always something fun to look forward to. Bowling, she does bowling, ice skating, roller skating, dodgeball. So she just really does a great job at having fun extracurriculars, and we help support those by funding like the DJ for the Blizzard Blast, the caller for the hoedown, providing snacks and volunteers for some of the other events after school. So we also orchestrate the readathon, which is our biggest fundraiser. And the readathon is students record the minutes that they read. So there's incentives and like reward for minutes that they read, and then also incentives for donations. So it's a good way to get them reading and a great way for us to have the money to funds to, supply those extra events. We also, do you want to keep going?
I mean, you're doing great.
We also provide conference meals for the teachers on their conference nights, and we have a teacher reimbursement just so that if there's anything that they want for their classroom to use for enrichment or extra, we just provide a little reimbursement fund for the teachers. We also provide school-wide t-shirts at LT Ball. So this is just a fun way to set LT Ball apart. We provide them for the staff and the students. It's a way to create unity among the buildings. And then a lot of times we'll wear them on Fridays or for field day, just fun things like that. Last year for the LTPA, we used some of our funds to go towards high top tables in the STEM lab. So we were really excited about that. Always looking for ways that we can provide the kids with like new equipment, like in the future, maybe it be laptops or who knows what innovative things we'll come up with. We also help provide recess equipment for the kids. The balls outside for Gaga ball and basketball can get worn very quickly. So
They love Gaga ball.
They love Gaga
ball. Yes, they do. It's probably their favorite.
But yeah, I think just highlighting some of the things that we help do. We work closely with Mr. Vagadis, and he always is open to like parent suggestions, which is wonderful. So that's been great. The school is doing awesome. They instituted the WIN this year, which is a new initiative where they have tiered instruction. So for students that need enrichment or maybe intervention, it's a time for the teachers to give those students a little extra. So any questions?
And when do you guys meet?
Okay, well, we usually meet at 1 p.m. but at LT Ball, but the date, it's not consistent. So I would say like mid-month,
Yeah. Okay.
midweek, like Wednesday.
I think our next one is coming up, is it in 1 or 2 weeks?
Yes,
February. We have a February.
we do have a February
meeting.
and we're always open for more parents. Because like I said, we have a lot of need. Do you want to talk
Volunteer
about the
need.
PBIS first?
Yes, one of the things that we do every Friday, or at least most Fridays when school's in session, is the PBIS store, which is probably the student's favorite. And it does take a lot of work to run. It also takes a lot of funds too, as we've learned, especially if you want to get the prizes that really intrigue the students. But basically, the students earn PBIS points through good behaviors at school, or, going that extra mile, maybe helping a classmate out or something like that. So it's a really great incentive. And I've learned personally after doing it this year that the better items you have there, the more points these students want, So incentive is not always a bad thing when it's driving good behaviors, right? So we run that store about every Friday, and that usually requires 2 volunteers each Friday. So we do utilize a lot of volunteers. And it is one of those things, like we usually create like a wish list and kind of send it out to parents, but recently we've been using some of our funds since we did really well with the readathon. But yeah, I'd say that's probably one of our biggest projects that we do because it's during the whole school year.
And also a lot of the teachers are using it for academic achievements too this year. I know in my son's class, and it motivates him to work a lot harder.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
You got some other questions? Thank you, ladies, so
All
much.
right, thank
Appreciate it. Okay, ready? Awesome, fantastic. You're like, wait, I'm just gonna stay here, so.
Okay, well, Jen, and thank you again for inviting us tonight. It's nice to be able to come up and tell everybody what we've been working on throughout the school year. So what is PIE? PIE is Tiffany's Parents Involved in Education. We're a parent-teacher organization that supports both elementary schools, both Nevin and Broadway. We provide students with the means to enrich their academic and social capabilities. So we officially meet once a month with both principals, Tina Smith and Mr. G. And we meet on the second Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m. So that's our official board meeting, but then we probably have daily texts between the PIE board. So we're almost in constant communication. And then we also open up meetings to the families. We just had one this Monday morning, which Mr. Moran attended and Liz Robbins. And we had 4 volunteer families show up. So we're always looking to encourage more participation and getting the parent volunteers there. But overall, it's a great group. Do you want to share
Yeah,
position?
so we are one organization, but we kind of split directors and co-directors so that we mainly to make sure we have volunteers because it's a lot. Jamie DeSanchez is the director of Broadway. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with her or will be. She's a big driving force behind getting the levy, promoting the levy. The co-director of Broadway is Monica Sabotka. I'm gonna butcher her last name. I'm the director of Nevin. Ambi Hawk is the co-director of Nevin. Kim is the secretary, and then our treasurer is Kayla Kent. So nice sized board to at least guarantee we've got volunteers. As someone was previously mentioning, it's oftentimes a lot of the same volunteers over and over again. One of the things, because I've been involved in PIE since my oldest was in kindergarten, which has now been 5 years. One of the things that we have done differently this year that I personally like now that we're getting past the COVID stages is we're trying to find more times to have open meetings to try to get more families involved, because we know at the end of the day, we want parents to feel like they're included and we want them to feel like, oh, we have plenty of opportunities for you. So we have started doing more of the open meetings, advertising it, and then we've recently talked about maybe trying to find a few evenings that we can have meetings because I'm a working mom. So all of these things on my calendar, like I've got little sacrifices every month everywhere. So I know how it is as a working mom, and really up to this point, I think a lot of the PIE board was kind of more geared to the stay-at-home moms. Which nothing wrong with that, but we want to be as inclusive as possible. So.
And then here's the ways that PIE supports both elementary schools. We do teacher classroom supplies reimbursements. So for classroom enrichment, they can turn in receipts of up to $100 and we'll reimburse the staff for those items. We provide 3 teacher conference meals per year. So all the conference nights, PIE provides meals for the teachers. We host the Scholastic Book Fairs, which we have in the spring and fall. And that's one of our largest money makers as well. We get a lot of our funding from the Scholastic Book Fairs. With that money, we purchase playground equipment for both elementary schools, a lot of even the loose playground equipment like the balls, the jump ropes, you might have seen the big Connect 4 that they have, the large ones. So we provided all of those items. For field day, we provide Kona Ice for both elementary's field days. We like to bring in special guests and speakers and entertainers throughout the year. Last year, right before spring break, we had Victor the Magician come in, who's very popular in the area.
I love it.
Yeah, so we're always try to book an event with Victor the Magician. We also sponsor the Little Elves Workshop, which is where the kids get to come in and make a special holiday craft for their family or loved ones. And that's a great way. We're excited to be able to bring in, we do a sign up genius. So there's always PI board members there. But that's a really exciting way to get the parents back in the school, able to come in and interact with their kids. So we always have a lot of fun with the signups for that.
Other things we do, Teacher Appreciation Week, we make a pretty big fuss with that because, well, we love our teachers and staff. So we do, bodega, cinnamon rolls, which is my personal favorite, coffees. We usually collaborate with as many community businesses as we can to kind of give them special treats throughout the week. We do the third grade t-shirts. We also, something that was new this year for us was we did the t-shirts for the staff at Broadway. And then the same money we put towards them, we gave to Nevin to go towards their, I think they did sweatshirts. So we try to keep it as fair as possible because we don't want anyone thinking we're playing favorites. I have a kid in both buildings, so. But we also do, we've done some classroom support. We've purchased supplies before, microphones. We're working with Mrs. Combs right now to do, the kids will be bringing home information soon. We are going to be doing a paint night. So they're going to get to do like painting or however she's putting that together, but we're going to support her and we have created a wish list for that. And then we are going to be providing the refreshments that evening. And I think it's going to be going on the same time as the art show. So it's just a bit pretty exciting 2 evenings in Nevin. In case you want to come check out some art because they're going to have it. They're going to have every kid's art on display throughout the hallways. So it should be a pretty cool event. Our biggest undertaking by far is our family fun night. We have done that now for the past 2 years. And this is where we invite Nevin and Broadway families. We sell tickets for it, but we make it per family so that it's affordable. We, with your ticket, you get 2 snacks and a drink. We have the dunk tank there where we voluntold some different staff and, Mr. G and Mrs. Smith had to take their turns in it. And the line for that was like crazy. We sold pizza there. We do a DJ. Yeah, we have a DJ come in. This year we're going to have Victor. He's going to pop up there. And we're already talking about some things that we can do to expand it just to give them a couple more options. Really big undertaking. And I will say last year it was very successful, but I think there was 5 of us volunteers that did all of it. So we were like, okay, guys, it's time for us to get serious about really promoting the volunteering at this point. Because I would say that would probably be our biggest barrier as an organization is just, and I don't know, I will message people, reach out to people. We want you. So I don't want anyone to feel like we're this exclusive mom's club because we want the volunteers. So hopefully, since we're planning that a little bit more in advance, we can get some more volunteers for that.
And we're hoping we can reach out to Mr. Barnes at the high school and see if any of the students need to earn volunteer hours for NHS, the Octagon Club, because they're great interactors with the kids. We had the football team came out last year. So the football team came out last year and threw around passes with some of the kids. And then this year, Mr. G, I think he said he's working on getting some of the soccer players out too. Because the kids, they just love to see, those are like role models to them. So, and our other thing that we have been doing that we brought back this year, which is probably one of my personal faves, is we do the lunch duties. So I create a sign up genius every month and send it to Mr. G, and he sends it out to the parents, and they take 2 volunteers each day to help keep Nevin's lunch going smooth. So that's opening up packets, opening up milks, getting them in their seats, and it has been really successful. For me, I think the fun part is they all play the game of whose mom are you or whose dad are you? And I've been there before when a few dads have popped in and those kids just
they don't want you to help them anymore. I'm raising my hand for him because he looks cool and, so, what else here do we want to
That's
add?
pretty good, yeah. So we've got our Facebook page, our email. We always try to put all our communication ones out there so the parents can get a hold of us. But yeah, we have a really good time and it's great to be able to support the kids in schools. So, yeah.
We stay busy.
Yeah, we sure do.
So did your fun night take over the fun fair?
It did, yes.
Mhm.
Yes. We're not back to that level of doing the fun fair and, we actually the past 2 family fun nights have been pretty good fundraisers.
Good.
The dunk tank was definitely
Your
a
kid won.
moneymaker for us. I mean, poor Mrs. Smith was drained. I mean, she was just,
Maybe you can get Kyle in there this year.
yeah. I think, yes, I think it would be great. I mean, you might have someone else lined up.
Angie.
Doing that as an organization.
Not exactly on bid.
Maybe for Friday, May 10th, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll
be good. Yeah, Kyle will represent us. It'll be good.
There we go.
There you have it.
You got this, bud.
May
This is, rookie hazing.
We have you penciled in.
I would be glad to be part of that.
That would be awesome.
There you
go.
And I
There's
would love
something
to
that you
come
don't mind
to
getting dunked in
No.
I would love to
many
come to your lunch.
times.
What time is your lunch time?
It is from, let me think real quick, 11:30 to 1
Okay.
is the time frame that we have volunteers over there. Okay. And let me tell you, we release that, like Mr. G sends it and within 5 minutes, that is filled up.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm like, maybe we should start having him release other things too, like, hey.
We send it through the newsletter and things like
Yeah.
that. That'll.
Absolutely, yeah, we are definitely getting better about being more like, hey, we need you.
The principals do a great job of
Yes.
including all of our stuff in their weekly emails. We really like all the buildings having the weekly emails to go out to the parents and from the district. It's a
Yes.
great job of keeping everybody on the same page. We know where to go when we need to look something up. So that's really nice to see all that streamlined.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. You saved the newbies for last. The newbies, new organizations. They've got years of experience. We are brand new.
All right, so we're from the middle school. When the new administrators and Mr. Rand came to the district, we realized that the middle school was the only building in the district that did not have a parent organization. So Pi has represented Nevin and LT, and then the LTPA, and then the high school have parents who care. So we, plus 2 more, decided to make that a change for that. So we have just put this together. So we are brand new, like, very brand new. So we have just started. So we don't have a lot of things that we've done in the past because we just started. But we did, we've had a few fundraisers. We have a parent, the parent that owns Bodega has a middle schooler. So our first fundraiser was a cinnamon roll fundraiser. It was we did very good. We've done a dime to donate almost.
Yeah.
I practiced a lot. And then we've done dime to donate almost every month. And those have been going great. We did a spirit wear fundraiser right before Christmas. It was very successful.
Can I just say, the products that we
Yes.
got, fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
organization anyway, Backyard Apparel, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic
Yeah,
job.
they're out of
Fantastic job.
I believe.
Yeah.
So that was one of our thoughts is a lot of the the spirit wear fundraisers are sports focused. So we kind of wanted to do a overall Tip City. So we did some girly things and some manly things and it went really well. And then what else have we done? So then for the students, our biggest thing was supporting that PBIS. So most of us, other than Jessica, are educators in other districts. PBIS is super important to me. And the middle school is building that culture. They're trying to, kind of change the climate and culture at the middle school. And so we wanted to help us support that. So we fully fund their PBIS store as well. Because we're all working moms, they run it. We don't do any of the running of it, but we supply all of the things that go into the store. So we do that. They do it every other Wednesday. during their lunch and red double time. And so they just kind of tell us what they need and we make it happen. We've used some of our funds, but mostly it's been parent donations. I send a monthly newsletter out and then I just tell people what we need and miraculously we usually get it. And then what else have we done? Yep, oh, yep. So we did Chick-fil-A at 2 of the basketball games, the middle school games. And it went really well. We were like shocked. The girls' game was a little scary at first. Angie was our volunteer.
Yes.
And we ended up selling them all. And then the boys' game, we had to actually order more. But we did it on the night that the band was there. So for both of those. So it was a really good fundraiser for us. And then, yes, so we've also, so they have PBIS quarterly rewards. So for Q1, they did like an outside celebration. We helped support, they did the store there. So we brought all the items that they sold in the store. For Q2, that one we did a lot more help with. We did they did a treat making room. We supplied all of the supplies for the treats. They did dodgeball, they did a movie thing, a couple other things, but we supplied all of the things that they need. Coming up on March 1st, we have a dodgeball tournament that we are having for the kids. So we will have a concession stand. We'll run it all. Mr. Simon and Mrs. Matthews are going to run the event. Mr. Manath is going to MC the event because he's super cool. And I think Officer Edmondson is going to get a police officer team to play dodgeball against the winning team. Kids don't know that yet, so it's what else do we have? So Q3 and Q4 will help with those as well when those are planned. Oh yeah, so we supplied, so because we're brand new, we did not have the funds to do first round of conferences. But we did second round conferences. So we did a meal for them for that. And then we, again, a lot of us are educators. So we love like surprises. So that's been one of our big things. We've surprised the staff every quarter with something. So the first quarter,
Coffee.
we did caramel apple bar. Before actually during the first week of school, we gave them donuts and coffee. And then this, well, we haven't done second quarters yet, but it's on Valentine's Day. So it's coming up. Yeah. Oh yeah, so we, again, working moms and busy kids. So we plan ours at the meeting, we plan for the next month. So we meet monthly.
Okay.
It's typically a Tuesday or Wednesday. It's really kind of been all over the place, but our next meeting is the 21st of February. It's typically that week, somewhere in the 20s, early 20s, teens of the month. And we meet at the middle school at 7 o'clock because we are all, I think we're all working moms and dads. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're looking for ideas moving forward. So if there's anything that you want to bring to us, we'd love to explore that. We were kind of thinking of maybe doing some sort of like a glow run or something, but kind of backtrack a little bit. It was just a little bit of too big of an undertaking to start the very first year, but we want to look more into those types of things and run with that. So we're very open to ideas for anything.
Yeah, and yeah, middle school's been great. Teachers have been great.
Yep, everybody's worked with us. It's been wonderful. Yeah. Thanks for giving us this time.
I will say, as the mom of a middle schooler, the PBIS store, I feel for him has changed his whole wanting to be at school.
Okay.
So sometimes it's that little motivation but yeah, so as a mom of a middle schooler, I really appreciate what you all are doing.
So I think they did a PBIS store. So I have a high schooler as well. And I think they used to do one. It was a little bit different and they kind of went away from that. I think some behavior kind of data show that maybe we should start it again. So we went ahead and partnered with them to start that.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it. And then I had a question now.
Yeah.
For the March 1st, is there, and don't get mad at me, sometimes I miss emails.
Yeah.
Is there a sign up for that for parents?
Not yet, but there will be.
Okay, for
Yeah.
parents. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna have parent volunteers to help. We need as many as we can get. Also, the 2 weeks prior, Mr. Simon and Mrs. Matthews are going to make the teams and they're athletes, I am not, so they're gonna make the brackets and all of those things for us. But as far as collecting money, we wanted to separate them from that. So we're gonna have parents come in, sit with Mr. Simon at Red Devil and lunch, and he's going to have the kids sign up through him, and then one of our parents are gonna take the money. So we're gonna send out getting parents that are home.
So maybe parents can come, like there's, like there's a price to, if you want to come, like just because you have nothing going on that night. Want to watch that, you can too.
Yeah, it's gonna be right after school, I think. We have the gym, we've already booked the gym from whenever school's out until 5:30, I think, so. Hopefully, if you ask kids, middle school kids, make them sign up. We wanna make it cool. That's what we're trying, that's what we're going for, make it cool, so.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you guys all for coming. That's right.
Yeah, as you see, we got a lot of people that want to help support our kids, and they do a nice job doing that. Appreciate everybody representing the buildings and helping out in every way they can. Again, they're all working, they're all have other lives, and they're giving back, so we really appreciate that. You don't need to stay. We're gonna go to the executive session, so you can get out of here. There's no more sun, but
Yeah.
it's not great out there. So
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Lots of great things. I do look so cute today. I'm calling in here.
Yeah, you all are right. You're right. We all appreciate you very much. I know you're on. All right. Okay, so the next agenda item we have under discussion items is board training update. So I know Kyle went last weekend and you guys went this weekend. So I'd love to hear takeaways. I think me and Rick went a long time ago now. It's been a couple of years since we've been to it. So any new takeaways you guys got or anything you want us to, would be awesome.
Ladies first.
Well, I really enjoyed the training. I thought it was very well presented and got to hear some experts, not just the speakers, but also experienced board members from the region. I think there was a strong emphasis on always looking at policy, always looking at your policy. And I guess my biggest takeaway is how important it is for us to be legislative advocates and trying to figure out how to build that relationship with our legislators and let them come to our schools and see all these great things like our parent organizations. I mean, that was so impressive, everything that's going on with the parents. And so those were my big takeaways.
Awesome.
So I appreciated, they had some scenarios and we got a chance to go through the scenarios, and that was really helpful to have that modeling opportunity. I think the biggest thing that I took away is the reminder of, that chain of command of who to call and who to text and who to email when you have an issue. And, I think it was a good reminder for me, not only as a board member, but also as a mom, of students who are there. You always want to encourage my kids are old enough now, but I would encourage my students to talk to their teachers. And then, then I would go to the teacher, and then, that chain of command up, and not necessarily directly to us, because me as one member of the Board of Education, I am not the Board of Education. I'm just Angie McMurray, one member of the board. And I think sometimes, that's forgotten. And so while we appreciate and we are the liaisons to the community, I think I learned a lot about, again, our focus is on policy. And, and so I think it's understanding where that chain of command and where our actual roles are. And it was great to just have that reiteration together when we were there. So that was, I think, some of the biggest takeaways for me.
Yeah, and for me, I don't think I could have said it better than you two. I got a lot out of the legislative stuff. Just learning how to be a legislative advocate. And a lot of the nuts and bolts were really useful. very overwhelming a little bit. There's a lot of information, so you feel like you were drinking out of a fire hydrant a little bit. But at the same time, I would say my biggest takeaway was something a little less tangible, but a little more obvious to me in the room was just how many good people there still are that are stepping up to really volunteer and like help the children of their communities. I was just struck by the fact that I was in a room full of 75 people, I think, in my group, and I don't think there was anybody in there I don't feel like I could have gotten along with or I didn't have a lot in common with. And so that was really cool because you hear a lot of negativity a lot of times nowadays, especially on TV and elsewhere. But to just see the reality on the ground of how many people are they feel really called to their communities to help students and to really cultivate really awesome educational environments. To me, it was like the most encouraging thing that I got out of it. It really makes you feel like, number one, what an honor it is to be in this position and to serve. But number two, to just feel like you're connected to something even bigger that's a little more statewide. And anyway, I realized just sort of how grateful I am to be in this position and to be doing this. And so, yeah, that's not the answer that Angie and Cindy gave because they took mine. Honestly, I don't have to you guys, but
Absolutely.
but that was my overall overwhelming feeling about it. So
Agreed. Policy number, just so you know, is 9130 and then 5710.
Okay, say that again.
Yeah, so policy number that talks about those public complaints, like chain of command, is
Okay.
9130 and 5710. Am I missing another one? I think those are the two. Yes, and that is important because I think I've touched on it before in previous board meetings. Like, I love knowing what's happening if I can help.
Right.
But I can't always help. And so then I have to send it back through the process, right? Like, I think we all realize that we have to send it back through the process. So, but we like hearing it. Please don't stop telling us what's going on. We'll send it back up the chain. So, and then if you're not sure what the chain is, then please feel free to ask, but it's going to your teacher first.
Mhm.
Then if that doesn't work, then your principal, and then administrators, and then to your superintendent, and from the superintendent, then it can go to us. So just as a reminder. Okay, awesome. Anything else you guys want to talk about from your?
I would say that there's an abundance of resources available from
Yes.
OSBA,
yes.
from publications to the website to direct contact. And that's kind of reassuring.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not only to us,
Right.
it was reassuring when I asked the question. I said, where can someone in the general public or somebody who's interested in serving, down the road or whatnot, where can they find this information? And it's all available on the OSBA website.
Yes.
And so they have everything from parliamentary procedure to just how a bill becomes a law. I mean, all kinds of things, free resources right there on the OSBA website. So to me, I thought that was excellent for us to be able to communicate with our community members as well, that if they have a question, there's just other places to go to get that information.
Yeah. It's been for me, it's been very helpful too, especially when I've gotten emails about things. I'm able to send them to that policy in OSBA.
Yeah.
And so that's been, it's nice. And they're very good at answering the phone if you ever have to call them. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for sharing. It's very much appreciated. I just lost my page to the meeting in a second. Sorry. Oh, I believe next is executive session, right? Okay. Let me read it off though. Hold on. So sorry. My computer hates me. All right, so our next action is adjourn to executive session for the purpose of purposes authorized under Board of Education Policy 0166 and Ohio Revised Code ORC 121.22, G1, G3, and G4. G1 is to consider the employment of a public employer official. G3 is conference with an attorney for the general body concerning disputes involving the public body. that the subject are pending or impending court action is to prepare for negotiation, G4 is to prepare for negotiations or bargaining session with public employees concerning the compensation or other terms and conditions for their employment. Do I have a motion? Moved by Mrs. McMurray
Second.
and then seconded by Mr. Thompson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Are you calling it?
Yep.
Okay. Totally fine. I was like, Dave is not sitting there anymore, so
Mrs. Drum,
yes.
Mr. Maines,
Yes.
Ms. Dillard,
Yes.
Ms. McMurray,
Yes.
and Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
I just realized it doesn't say who is coming in or who we're calling. Okay, all right. Sorry, I always get nervous. I'm gonna not follow them. Okay, so motion passes. The time is now 6:46 and we're going to head into executive session. The time is now 8:19 and we are out of executive session. Next piece of information is miscellaneous upcoming meetings. The next regular Board of Education meeting will occur on February 20th, 2024 at LT Ball Intermediate School, beginning at 6 p.m. And the next work session meeting will occur on March 5th. March 5th at the Board of Education, beginning at 6 p.m. All right, at this time, I will take a motion for adjournment.
I'll move to adjourn the meeting.
Motion by Mrs. McMurray,
I'll second.
second by Mrs. Dillard. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll vote.
All right. Mrs. McMurray,
Yes.
Mrs. Dillard,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mrs. Drum.
Yes.
Mr. Maines.
Yes.
All right. This concludes the meeting of the Tipp City Exempted Village Schools. The time is now 8:20 p.m.